game. Okay. Coach, congratulations, and guys, congratulations on the victory.
Thank you.
Could you give us a little thought about the background, what you saw in that game, and then we'll open it up for questions from the media, an opening statement from the coach.
Sure. First of all, this is Ian Ledmer and Owen Porter, just for you guys reference. Yeah, it was a great game. I thought we knew it'd be tough. This was a good hockey team, and we had some dangerous players that we had to keep an eye on. And the first period, that jumping out to a lead was huge. Obviously, we didn't do a great job of staying on our toes in the second period, but we held on and had a big goal at the end of the period there, and then had a good third. So guys stepped up. These two and a couple others that had some big goals and big moments, and that's been happening all year for our team, and we feel good about it. So I'm excited for tomorrow.
Thank you. Let's open up for questions now.
You want to actually, obviously, the defenseman, so town sport, like on the team, don't get many goals, but kind of walk me through the 2 goals you had, kind of what does it mean for you to score on the state tournament stage?
I mean, I'm just happy to participate, giving our boys a jump and just getting the game started. I mean, the goals don't really mean anything to me. I just want to play for my team and help them win.
Coach, after somewhat slow starts against Alaska and Monona Grove, was there any extra emphasis on getting out the way you guys did and jumping on them really early in the first period?
Yeah, we've had that happen a couple times, to your point. So we talked about it a little bit beforehand, not at length, but just that there was a big period to get the right start, and we did. It was good. The boys responded, and it was a great first period. So yeah, that was a big part of it, I thought.
You were kind of in the situation last year. You're going for a state championship. What's different this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's always different. That's what's so fun about high school sports and hockey. Obviously, for us, is just the dynamic changes every year. You got different guys. Obviously, some of the guys are back, but different leadership, different roles, everything else. And so, going through that whole process with the guys for 4 months and trying to get it shaped to the right spot and get to where you want to get to is it's unique every single season. So, this year we didn't have the same challenges earlier in terms of results. So from the outside looking in, it probably looks a little bit easy as far as the record goes, but it hasn't been. There's been a lot of work. These guys have been working their butts off. So just to see them be rewarded for all that is rewarding by itself. Again, last year was unbelievable. It's just a separate group and separate situation every year. And so it's fun, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Owen, you had that great lead pass to the other Owen for that shorthanded goal. Kind of talk to me, kind of what you see in that playoffs. How big was it to get that shorthanded goal with power play and then maybe sparking a comeback?
Yeah, for sure. I think it was a massive goal. I think earlier in that period we got scored on 2 in the power play, so it was massive for momentum. Walking through it statistically, I saw the puck, or it was going across, and then he whiffed on it, and then obviously we know Owen Cox's a very fast player, so I just put it in space, sauced it up, and then he did the rest.
Coach, you kind of mentioned hanging on there in that second period. I think they had 15 shot attempts in that second period. Felt like they were a little bit more aggressive coming out, being down 3 goals. How did you feel they kind of flipped the ice on you guys, and then you guys obviously able to steal momentum back with that late goal. How did you feel they kind of flipped the ice on you guys there in that second period?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the guys after the second period, I think we just took their best shot, and obviously there's a level of urgency there that is hard to match, and they had to go power plays, of course, as part of that. But it's also, there's human nature for us, we talked about it after the first, but we had a 3-0 lead, and that's way too early for us to sit back on our heels, but there's some human nature that goes into that, I think, and so we probably sat back a little bit and gave a little more space than we should have, which is a good learning lesson. It's always fun to learn in wins, but I thought that was part of it, and they're a good hockey team, so you give them a little space, they're going to make plays and create some offense, which they did, and Brady was great in net, and then got a couple of big kills there, and then got back at it in the third, so yeah, it's a good learning lesson.
You guys going into tomorrow's game with Spash, this is a team you just played a couple weeks ago, and didn't get off to a good start, played very good second and third period, didn't come out with a win. What do you see with Spash this time around?
Yeah, it's going to be a great test. They're a heck of a hockey team. I think having seen them is probably helpful for us. The first game was it was a great hockey game. Like you said, we got off to a little bit of a slow start. I thought our heads were in the right spot for that game, but just the pace was quick, and we'd come off probably a couple of games that weren't at that same pace, and so there was an adjustment that needed to be made, and we did make it in the second and third. It was a little bit too late, so certainly part of the conversation going into tomorrow, but we know it's gonna be a huge task. They're a heck of a hockey team, and got work cut out for us.
Now and then,
Coach, you mentioned Brady there, but kind of got a lot of seniors, kind of he's a sophomore, one of the guys who wasn't here last year. Kind of tell me about his performance, especially that second period, laying out on the ice, getting certain stops for y'all.
Yeah, I thought, you know, this is probably Brady's best game of the year. He's had a number of good ones, but in terms of volume and moments, you know, there's one thing to get, you know, your 30 saves, whatever it was, but in moments when it's 3-1 and that scramble happens, that's a big one, right? If he doesn't stop that, now it's a little different game potentially. So he had some big time saves, was super calm and collected, and that's a big part of winning championships or getting to them at least. So yeah, he was unbelievable, and looking forward to giving him a shot tomorrow.
Can you move the mic toward you? I was going to ask him about Brady, but since we just talked about Brady, I just want to ask you, like, what's the experience like for you guys being on this stage, having, you know, the atmosphere, the crowd behind you? I know they've been behind you all year, but is it just as special being back here a second year?
Yeah, I mean, it's so much fun, and I was so happy we came out on top last year, and just being here again, it just means so much, being with my boys and just playing with them even longer, extending our season, and yeah, I mean, it's our city, great, always bumping, so it's great.
Coach, when I asked you earlier, you mentioned USM being like a rival for Edgewood. Kind of does that add to? I mean, obviously, state trying to win is big, regardless. Kind of does that add and kind of add a little more to the win?
You know, honestly, not really. For me at least, when I get to this level with our team, it just, the opponent doesn't matter as it relates to that, right? Those games are really about regular season, in terms of rivalry, regular season and history and that sort of thing, and it could be conference. We used to be in conference with them. And so you have those rivals during the season, but when you get into playoffs, for me, whether it's them or, you know, we got a number of rivals, it just really is about getting the result and moving on and getting these guys a chance to play. So I don't think that resonated with me a whole lot today, but beating a good hockey team in the state semifinal is huge, and that does resonate. So.
any other questions? Seeing, hearing none, congratulations, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.